Hello, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Today, we are going to talk about selling. Now, I know that not all of you work in sales, but think of sales in broader terms. Almost every day, and on so many occasions, each of us have to face situations where we're either selling an idea or a concept to someone, or trying to gain their buy-in. Now, professional salespeople, they use many different techniques and strategies in their selling. But there are three fundamental qualities of successful salespeople, and these are, number one, focusing on your customer and knowing your customer. Number two, creating value for the buyer. And number three, radiating credibility. So let's take a look at these each one by one. The first one, focusing on your customer. You really need to understand your customer. You need to listen to them, and you need to step into their shoes. Last weekend, I went to see a movie. It was called Will You Be My Neighbor? Have any of you seen that? Well, I would highly recommend this one if you really want to understand human nature, especially in children. See, I'm already trying to sell something to you. Well, the movie is about Fred Rogers, who was very successful in creating these children's shows on public television between the 60s and the 90s. Somewhere along the way, President Richard Nixon decided that it might be a good idea to cut funding for public television. And so, in order to finance the war in Vietnam, and so there were congressional hearings to determine the fate of public television. These were run by this serious, no-nonsense, nothing's going to get by me senator. And halfway through the hearings, he had been listening to all these presentations by the executives of the public broadcasting. And he said, he gruffly barked that he had heard enough of the well-prepared scripts that the execs of public television were presenting. And he wanted something else. It was Fred Rogers' turn. And he decided, he was listening to his customer, and he decided to put the script away and instead speak about his own feelings and his motivation of creating these shows in order to transform the way that children watch television in the US at that time. He not only spoke from his heart, but he spoke to the ironclad heart of that senator. And within 10 minutes, he had secured $20 million in funding for public television. So listen to your customer and know your customer. Number two, create value for your customers. Take a look at this advertisement. I think you'll all recognize this as being
Hello, I'm a Mac.
one of the companies
And
that
I'm a
has brought
PC.
tremendous value to the customer.
Hello, I'm a Mac.
And I'm a PC.
Action! 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 Sensei, you okay?
No, I'm not okay. I have that virus that's going around.
Oh, really?
In fact, you better stay back. This one's a doozy.
That's okay, I'll be fine.
No, do not be a hero. Last year there were 114,000 known viruses for PCs.
PCs, not Macs. So, just good.
I think I got a crash.
Hey, if you feel like that'll help.
Thank you. And so this was from a series of advertisements very similar to this, which were highly successful in propelling and driving up the sales and revenues of Apple Computer. So what do you notice about this ad? It very subtly describes the value that a Mac has over a PC. It does not go into all the technical jargon of how many terabytes and gigahertz and all that, but zooms in on what a casual user of a PC would want to hear about his computer. We can turn that off. And on number three, as I said, was radiate credibility. For that, you really need to know your product. You need to know your competition, and you need to know the industry. The more well prepared you are, the more confident you're going to be. The more credibility you show, the more trust you're going to build with your customer. Sometimes you actually have to forego a sale in order to build credibility and trust. especially if you don't have that right product for the customer. And I'll give you an example. Just 2 days ago, I took my 20-year-old minivan to the body shop to get a dent repaired. And I went to the first body shop, and they didn't even really listen to what I wanted, because all I wanted was something quick and dirty and not something perfect. I got an estimate of $2,000. So I went across the street to the next body shop, and he took one look and said, well, if that's all you want, I can recommend something far cheaper. And you should go to a paintless dent remover. He gave me a few cards. He forwent his sale, forgoed his sale, and sent me to his competition. But guess what? If I ever get into a wreck, which I don't really, I would and definitely go back to that person. So there you see, sales is not hard. All you need to do is remember these 3 principles. 1, focus and know your customer. 2, create value. And 3, radiate credibility. So that concludes the first part of this presentation, and now we're going to go into the role-playing piece of it. Bernd Lannon has graciously accepted to be my role-play partner. We have not rehearsed this, but we've exchanged what the topic is going to be. I am the seller, and he's my customer. Bernd, and at the end of this, like I said, we'd like to get your feedback on what we could have done better in the sales process.
Okay.
Yeah. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, how are you?
Welcome to the T&M Art Gallery and Supply Store.
Thank you.
How are you today?
I'm doing quite well. I'm perplexed though. I'm having a difficult time. My medical office, I am the office manager for a medical office nearby. And we're redoing our lobby. And I met with the doctors and the professional people, and we need to have a lobby that's calming. I don't need to have my clients or the clients that come in excited or bubbly or agitated. They need to be calmed down because medical procedures are difficult. And we're looking for art. We've got the architect and the designer have come in and they've done all of these things and offered all of this stuff. And all I'm trying to do is get some artwork that'll calm people down. And I have a broad range of clients that come in. Children, preteens, teenagers, young adults, all the way up to geriatric. So it's a very broad scope of people that we need to work with and accommodate. It's all races, all sorts of religions. So we have to be really careful that we don't offend anybody. So I don't need religious artifacts on the wall, but I need something. Can you help me out?
Well, I think you've defined what you want really well. So firstly, let me introduce myself. I'm Rahul Shah, and I am the owner and manager of this art gallery. We really specialize in advising our clients on what art would work best either in their businesses or in their residences.
Good.
And I'm an alumni from the California College of the Arts. I've had a lot of experience in this area.
Good.
And some of our customers include the Sacramento Bee, PG&E, Hewlett-Packard Enterprise, and many doctors and other professionals.
Good. That's good to know.
And we can definitely help you find the right kind of art that you're looking for based on what you just described. So what I heard you say was, you're in a medical office, you have a lot of people coming in to and wait in the waiting room. They're all ages and different diversities. And so you want to have something that would appeal to all of them, keep them calm, and keep them in some way entertained during that
Yes.
time.
I don't want Picasso's or fantastic art, but I don't want something that you can go to the local store, local Target or something, and just pick up out of their poster section. I want something meaningful. I want something that is nice to look at, and it's just like, oh, somebody went to Target and put something in a frame. So I want something that's unique.
So can I ask you, approximately, what is your budget? Is it in the millions?
If it were, Picasso's would be there. But really, Rahul, what I'm looking for, I have a small budget, and you know, 15,000, you know, in that range. I have a range close to 15, but this is a sizable lobby, so there's going to be a lot.
Yeah.
So I want to be really sure that it sounds like a lot, but in actuality it isn't.
So based on your budget, really, it doesn't look like we'd be able to get a lot of different art. I have this great suggestion for you, or a potential suggestion for you. It's an art subscription service that you would see. You would be able to see high quality art on big TV screens, really nice looking monitors. And you'd put them up in the room in all different locations. You'd be able to create your own playlist. You'd be able to select what art you'd like to play, and you'd be able to change that art constantly. And best of all, it would not cost that much. It would be $10 a month after you bought those TV monitors, which would be, a 4K monitor would be a couple of $1,000.
Okay, all right.
I mean, sorry, a couple of $100.
Okay. How many, we'll need to look at this when we go further, but is there some sizes that I can get?
Any size that you
Okay,
want.
good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Keep going.
So do you think that would be something that you'd be interested in?
Well, I think it would be interesting because I could change the value. I could change what's being presented, and I could get something a little nicer. Meaning, if I got a portrait or picture of a masterpiece, if that's available, you know, kind of bring it into the mix. So that sounds really interesting.
Okay, very good.
Tell me more.
So I'd love to tell you some more. Maybe we should set up an appointment and I can go through everything. In the meantime, we have about a minute left where we need to get feedback from our audience. So we'll turn it over here and ask the folks in the room. Thank you very much, Bern. What is your feedback? What did you see that went well? What would you change? And how could we make this better? Yeah.
I will present more options to the customer, not just the TV, but possibly here is also 5 sets of arts that you could get for your budget instead.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, if we had the time, we would have definitely done that. But anything else?
I thought that Bern laid out his requirements very well, so he's a great customer. And then I think that you did a great job of mirroring his requirements. You restated them. You just was very responsive to the client. I liked how you introduced yourself. You gave your background, your education, your experience to assure him that you could help him. And I like when you said, I heard you say blah, 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 blah. So you restated it, and it was just very well done.
Sorry to interrupt, but I think we're out of time. So
Okay.
we'll take feedback after the session. Thank you.